Hello everyone, and welcome to a very healthy episode of What the Hell is Wrong with People. Today we are back from PAX.
With sickness.
Everybody got the PAX box, and we got to the office, and people here had somehow managed to brew their own brand of plague. Everybody's sick and miserable, and
But we're here.
McLean is okay.
We are. McLean
Yeah, he's
is
fine.
top shape, so he's gonna sub for me like a little bit later.
So I'm drinking some liquid ginger. It's burning my head, and it's helping a little with the pain.
All right, so
Let's talk about things. First of all, let's say hi to our mods. Hi, mods.
hi mods.
Thanks for joining us.
All right,
We have-
here we go. We have Clyde, Gitawid, Murph, Ryudi, Suggestive, and Vorfidis. Thank you for being here today.
Much appreciated. We have Bjorn, who seems to be as strong as an ox as usual. He is a rather intimidating fella. Other than that, we have news. So, some news.
Lucy, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. You were not in the
You
list.
were totally hiding, by the way.
You're not in the list. I don't know
Oh,
why.
so you're in the
But
Discord.
you're there.
but,
Thank you, Lucy.
Anyway, thank you.
So you were saying, sorry.
I was saying that PS4 Japan is finally out.
Yay!
Took us forever. It was it's difficult. Long distance relationships are not easy. But that's it. So finally we are out on PS4 in Japan. We have a lot of really excited Japanese fans that were already playing the game, and a lot of new ones in the last few days that joined. Welcome to this crazy community.
All right.
We're happy to have you here. Next thing, PAX was quite a ton of fun.
PAX was awesome. I had a blast
Yeah.
over there. Last year I was merely a player at PAX, and this year I got to experience it from the other side of the booth.
Yeah.
That's why I catched the PAX box.
It was great. I mean, so many moist hands were shaken. So
Please
many,
don't start.
clammy hugs. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty and love, and I loved every minute of it, even though I wake up in the middle of the night screaming. Can you show the boot? Because that thing was glorious. Look at this
Yeah.
thing. Look at this. So this was the very first time we had a behavior boot. The bit of the desk in front is my favorite part. Yes. It was a behavior boot. So we had Dead by Daylight on one side, the 4 survivors, and the killer at the back. And then we had Death Garden, which is the brand new game from the team working right next to us. And it was quite a lot of fun. And we made friends, and we laughed and cried. So that was the booth at PAX. I have a shit ton of pictures, but we'll look at them a little later. That's gonna replace from the web for today. That's it. And the last news I have on my list is everyone is sick.
Can confirm.
Yes. Other than that, we're gonna talk a little bit about the emblems right now. So on Tuesday, we released a big patch.
Yeah.
A really big patch. The emblem system is probably the biggest thing in there. It changed a lot the way the people play the game and the way people are judged for playing the game.
And we already have a ton of feedback. But
Yeah.
we're not gonna, react too quickly to this. We're gonna take our time to really gather feedback, let time,
Yeah.
pass a little bit before we actually react.
Well, the
Like,
3 pillars of change for us in these things are feedback from the community, stats that we gather, and our own gut feeling. And these 3 things need to be balanced against each other, and we need to make sure that we don't react too quickly to people being, oh my god, you just broke everything, when a couple of days later people are like, oh I get it now, okay, that actually works. Or there are things also that are
And-
bugs or things that
yeah.
we need to adjust,
And
it'll
also,
come.
we're not saying that Emblems is fixing all the problems in the game.
Absolutely not. We're thinking that
They're
it
the first
improves,
step
but
into improvement.
So yeah, we'll have Mr. McLean come and join us in a little bit, and he will talk about that. Actually, we could do that now. We have a bunch of Q&A, but...
you have a picture from PAX that you wanted to show?
Well, I showed the booth, but I have all the pictures of...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, you're... yes.
Yeah, I'm right.
I keep forgetting about things. Fortunately, today our two heads are about 90% of one. So... at PAX, one of the things that we told people to come and check was a little sneak peek of the next chapter. And we'd like to show it now for the very first time in digital format. So we have the full version of it. We'll release it everywhere.
Official form also, not only tweets by someone
that's it.
that I think saw it on Twitter maybe.
The only pieces of information we'll give about this are that this is the next chapter. The next chapter is coming with the anniversary update. It is an original chapter. It is absolutely our own stuff. No licenses attached to this one. And this will be the new chapter that follows the new recipe. So the usual recipe for chapters is a killer, a survivor, and a map. This one is a killer, a survivor, a map, and a bunch of outfits for existing characters themed.
And do we get a PTV prior to
Yeah.
asking questions and he's dying. Alright. So
Yeah, we should be doing a PTB. The extent of which is still being debated because of course marketing is saying we can't just show everybody everything and let them play with it for 2 weeks and then see if they want to buy it, although, it's a valid point.
Unlockable. Yay.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. I'm going to curl up at my desk.
Okay.
I will see you in
Lucky
chat.
you. I will stay here and continue to die in front of your eyes for your amusement, like gladiators of old. Please, Mr. McLean, come next to me in the...
This is the hot zone.
Yeah, it is the hot zone. You're in danger, but people now see that you are a brave man willing to face anything to answer their concerns.
That's right. Anything for Dead by Daylight.
There you go. Thank you very much.
I have a tattoo that says that. I'm not going to tell you where.
Okay, no, that's fine. I got a very weird question during one of the streams while I was there, which was, do you still have the Mario tattoo?
Do you still have the Mario?
Yeah, that was a question to me. And I'm like, well, I still have the arm, so yeah. So yeah, that was a weird one. Not the strangest one I got at PAX. I'll tell you that after. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the emblems.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that. Well, Gabrielle stole most of my thunder.
She does that.
I had a chat with some of our designers about how they were feeling about this, and it was basically exactly what Gabrielle just said, which is we're really excited about this, and we're watching carefully, and we're reading everything that you're writing, and we're watching people play, and we're collecting numbers, and writing stuff in spreadsheets and stroking our beards, those of us who have them.
Yeah.
And that's mostly where we're at. I mean, I've got lots of cool little tidbits.
Yes, please.
So essentially, yeah, we're not saying that everything is perfect just yet. I did notice a few common misconceptions.
Yes.
So
that would help.
When like the same sort of questions come up very often, I don't think, oh, people are dumb. I think, oh, maybe we should write a more clear description or something. So this is all the kind of feedback that we're coming up with at the moment. I have a couple of notes per emblem, along with. I didn't have time to create really nice visual aids.
That's fine. It's about the quality of the information.
It hurts me as the self-appointed champion of Dead by Daylight dev stream visual aids. I just made that up. That I have to bring nothing. But anyway, so I got a couple of notes.
Okay. Do enlighten us a little.
Sure. All right. A lot of people have asked me about Lightbringer. We have Lightbringer graphics. I'm sure there must be some Lightbringer graphics. Hit us with the graphics. Amazing.
Okay.
Ooh, that was not a high enough resolution image.
That's fine.
All right. So Lightbringer, which is our go do the objectives emblem. Some people say, oh, hey, I really didn't get the Lightbringer quality that I expected. And so I believe probably what's happening is that there was a change for those who played the PTB compared to live. One of the big changes was whether you get the points while you're doing it with somebody else. So let's say that a generator is like a nice big pool of like 100 points towards your emblem.
I'm with you.
Yeah, on one of the PTBs, if two players sat down from the beginning and repaired the whole thing, they would both get 100.
Okay.
As in, now they're both getting 50. As in, we're not letting the pool multiply based on how many people are repairing a generator. Right. It's, you know, how much time did you actually spend on this generator? I don't know if that was written anywhere, so that could be part of the confusion. So like, hey, I did 3 generators. If you did 3 generators all by yourself and nothing gets bugged, you should get an iridescent Lightbringer emblem. So let us know if that happens, because we're also looking for bugs. You know, it could definitely happen.
But that's if you did them all by yourself.
By yourself, exactly. Yeah. So you yourself spent 200 and some odd seconds repairing generators. Congratulations, you get a shiny emblem. Other things that I noticed about Lightbringer, we say, hey, go break some hex totems for sweet Lightbringer point bonuses. Only hex totems. Yeah. So you only bring the light if they had the lit up totem to break. Doesn't really make much sense, but hey, only the lit up totems count for Lightbringer points.
That makes sense.
So far. I mean, I've heard lots of people, hey, let us break the other totems for points. I'm like, well, that's not up to me, but I don't know. I'll pass that along.
It's possible, but it's not helping anyone.
Right.
In a sense.
Unless, except for the no-ed situation.
Yeah,
right?
Technically.
The hidden no-ed.
Right.
That's no one escapes death, for those of you who are new to this stream. We use the lingo. Okay, so some people have asked about Unbroken.
Yes.
Which is the don't get hit, or if you do get hit, at least try to survive. And if you didn't survive, at least try to make sure that you were in there for a while. Yeah, nice, Unbroken.
Hey. Oh. Okay. No, that's nothing. Do go on.
Okay, so for Unbroken, I've heard some people say, okay, I survived with no hits, but I didn't get my iridescent. Should be a bug. Really, like this one should be pretty simple.
If you survived with no hits,
you didn't go down. Sorry, it's downs, not hits. So all right. So here's another point of clarification. It's actually, did you go down? Were you crawling? If at no point you were crawling and you escaped, you deserve your iridescent. Please let us know. If you didn't, it's a bug. And I have heard reports of people who were not getting their gold for escaping. And if you got a gold, sorry, if you escaped and you did go down any number of times, you deserve gold. Let us know if you don't get it. We're tracking these issues. We know about them. Let's see. Do I have any other particular notes? Do you see anybody saying, "Hey, we forgot to talk about this thing"?
It's very quiet. People are paying close attention to your words.
Okay. Well, did I have some other notes? I have some notes about Evader. Evader is kind of a complicated one. There's two prongs for the purpose of Evader. One is, are you really good at in a chase? So you lead the kill on a merry chase. You get.
Well, that's it. So that system was a little obscure for some people. Yeah. I think it's essentially chases build up a pool of points, and the person who wins the chase gets the pool, more or less.
That was the original pitch. It actually evolved if you were following them over the PTBs.
I was not.
It eventually came to the point where the survivors were saying, okay, well, I'm going to display a lot of skill occupying the killer for a long time, but then I'm still going to get a hit, but it really was for the good of the whole game. I think it did. So we were like, yeah, you're right. So
it makes sense.
So there were certain like checkpoints. Like if you ran the killer around for 15 seconds, you're going to get this many points. And then at the end, I think what's happening right now is if you escape, you get everything like with a big bonus on top of it. So you get the most points by doing a long chase and then escaping. You do get points for a long chase, which you got hit at the end, and you also get points for being stealthy. That's the third way that you can get points for that one, which is that you're hiding near the killer.
How does one get iridescent chaser?
Okay, I'll get there. That's definitely a question I've gotten many times. So for the Evader, if you were just curious about how Evader works, the best thing is to go on a long chase and escape it. The second best thing would be to go on a long chase and take your hit. and then you can slowly but safely get points by creeping around in the killer's vicinity.
Okay.
It's slower, but it'll get you there because stealth is still a thing.
Still a valid strategy.
That one's getting clipped. All right. So over on the killer's side, I got a few questions about Chaser. Chaser was really the one that people were asking me about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a matter of the points needing to be tweaked. I don't really know, but I checked it out. It seems, as far as I know, it's functioning as we expect. Chaser rewards you for getting into lots of chases. The points you're going to get for a chase depend on how quickly you close it out. It's actually a decreasing curve. The longer you're in a chase,
The fewer
less
points you get.
the less that exactly the fewer points you get for that chase. But you can get into lots and lots of chases and accumulate lots and lots of points. I think what's happening right now is that for an iridescent chaser emblem, you would have to get into quite a lot of chases that end with hitting somebody. A very large number, probably more than people expect. So I don't know. Can you right now? Can you get your emblems and kill your friends through testing? I don't remember what our final status was on that.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know if they show.
Okay.
Anyway, try getting into an absurd number of chases and see what happens. Report back to us.
If it really is absurd, then we'll probably revisit that.
I'm probably being dramatic. It is a large number though. I took a look. What is a successful chase? That's a good question.
Yeah.
It simply means, from the killer's perspective, that you got into a chase and it ended when you hit them. It is true that it might be unclear if you're chasing a full health survivor and you're running around, and then you whack them. That, as far as the chaser is concerned, ends the chase, gives you your points, congratulations. I know the guy is still alive and he's running, and you're probably going to run after him and pick up a second chase. I don't know, maybe that's something that's not clear about the description. It only cares that you got into a chase
22
and you hit them.
15-second chases for iridescent,
That's
according to Asmonde.
That is the number that I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's many chases.
It's many chases, absolutely, very many. Why aren't you telling us the exact numbers? I mean, I've got them right here. I don't mind. Actually, I hear that you can find them online if you look for them. I don't know if we're really hiding them or if it's just that that's not what we want the focus to be on.
Well, it's more that.
Yeah. We do want people to actually play and have fun. And
How does Chaser work for someone like the Huntress hitting people from afar?
I believe you get if you're not in a chase, you hit them. I'm not sure if it's going to give you a 0-second chase or if you're only going to get the hit points if you weren't in a chase when you hit them. That I might have to get back to you on. You're not going to get nothing. You get a chunk of points just for the hit, regardless of how long the chase was. You'll definitely get those. As for whether you get 0-second chase added to that, I would have to double check. These are good questions.
All right.
Oh, so here's a good. I like this. So 22 chases is insane. So I had a chat. I was chatting with the designers about this morning.
Okay.
And essentially, nobody should feel entitled to an iridescent emblem.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I
I
just
like
said
where you're
it,
going
right?
with that.
That means that you really exceeded in the category,
Yeah.
right? It, in fact, should maybe be. You should think of it more as like an exciting thing. Don't think of it as that's an A, and you're a good student in school, and therefore you deserve your A. It's actually not like that. It really means that in this game, in this category, you super over performed. I think most of the emblems are kind of set up that way.
That would make sense. Because you need to have a way to reward exceptional moments.
Right. Yeah. Like you. Yeah, like in
Obviously,
a game
some
that
of
you
them,
felt
like
yeah.
as a survivor, if you manage to escape without getting hit,
Yeah.
that's obviously there's no better
Right.
scenario. So it should be the top rank. But in things that are a little more of a gradient, we needed to leave room for exceptional.
So there are some other things I guess it would be good to acknowledge.
Yeah.
The double pip is intentionally rare. I asked, so like, yes, this is basically means that you are definitely way better than the category that you're in, and we just kind of want to speed you through the ranks. It's not something anybody should feel like they deserve all the time. Sometimes the game doesn't give you the opportunity to get the points that you want for some of the emblems, like let's say benevolent, right? That one really does depend on the state of the game and what happens. And sometimes you can't get the benevolent points that you want, and we know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a plan about that right now, but I acknowledge this. It's a thing. Things we'd like in the future, perhaps. I have a note here. Perhaps giving more information about the emblems and how you got the quality you did in the end game. Not in the game. I believe what the
like in the tally screen,
like
or even in the help screens
Yeah.
about it or something. So the information is there if
Exactly.
you really want to understand the details of it.
Yeah,
I agree.
The intent seems to be right now that they really don't want that gumming up the match during the match. It doesn't want here. Now you're at this. Now you're at that. They really just want you to play.
Yeah.
But perhaps some more information outside, before, after, that kind of thing. Another note that I have here is different killers are going to have different strengths and weaknesses in regards to the various emblems.
Yep.
And we are absolutely, I double checked, we are tracking every killer's performance in the emblems individually to
Yes.
see, who's doing how.
Because obviously some killers will have a really hard time to get iridescent in some categories.
Yes. I was watching some hillbilly gameplay, and a lot of those chases will end with one shot from a chainsaw, and then it's like, well, then if you do the math, it seems that there are less chases in that game, and Billy's getting less. We're definitely tracking that.
All right.
Those were the notes that I had. If there are any other questions that
Well,
I
there
happen
will
to
be
have,
others, and I have a few in the Q&A, so we'll
Sure.
move on to this. You can look at this. Maybe you'll see...
I'll take a look.
Okay. So I have here questions that our friendly Murph put together for us. Any information on how the play to unlock system will work with the DLC? That's a big question.
Yeah.
Or do you want to reveal all the details later? Also, can we get glasses for Ace's Panama hat? So, we do not have glasses for the Panama hat right now. That's not planned, but it's not our question. We have other brand new outfits for Ace, though, that are pretty swanky.
I've seen some pretty neat looking outfits.
As far as the play to unlock, we'll give more details when the actual switch is flipped, but essentially the characters, and I'm talking about the characters at large because some of the licensed ones might not end up in that category if we can't come to a correct agreement adjustment with the license holders. But for our characters that were behind the paywall, they will still be possible to buy, but you will also be able to unlock them through playtime. So it's not shards, it's not blood points, it is going to be something different that is accumulated by playing the game. And through playing the game, some characters and some outfits will be available for smaller amount of points, so fewer hours of game time, and some will be much more expensive in terms of time invested. And that's it. Some, probably just a few, are going to only be possible to acquire through money, and some, and that's probably very few, are going to only be available through playtime or specific achievements.
I saw a question here, which I think I've heard you answer before, so we can repeat it for the rest. In here it said, will Myers and Lowry get them? But I guess for
That's
DLC
it.
in general.
We don't have a final answer on the DLC, the licensed DLCs. And, it's going to be an agreement that we need to come to with the license holders. We'd love to be able to have that so that Myers could be obtainable through playtime. And then we could have many different alternate outfits that you could get. We'd love that. But it's going to depend on them. Okay, what do we have here? When will we be able to close the hatch? So some of the designers have played with that feature.
I saw it. I did it.
You tried it?
I closed a hatch with a killer.
So the comments I got is, well, it's being validated right now. So we put it in the game and we play it, and right now the comments I got from Yannick was, it feels super weird.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's like, I closed the hatch and I'm like, now what? Now what's happening now? It seems to like ending the game or something. Anyway, he thought it was weird, but it's still being validated right now. It's very new. I think it's been not many games were played with that feature, and so we need to talk about it. But it means that it is happening. We have on the roadmap you mentioned better tools to handle toxicity. The question is, would it be in-game tools like offerings or items, or technical ones? So when we mentioned that, what we meant as specifically as possible was more tools for our mods to be able to handle ban systems and things like that, and handling the community at large. This is the first step. And the first step is better tools for our mods, because they've been doing a very, very difficult job, and it can be a job that takes an intense emotional toll, because, you know,
The
you're
mods-
dealing with the worst of the community.
The mods are truly the unsung heroes here.
Absolutely. I'm trying to sing a little right now. But essentially, you know, you have to focus for hours and hours and hours on the worst possible elements of the community, and you do that with tools that are difficult, that are clunky. So this is one of our priorities right now, looking at least giving them much better tools to deal with that. Are there any updates? And just to close that loop, essentially, we all agree that putting things in the game, creating design elements and gameplay elements that foster positive behaviors is an extremely potent way of, you know, making the community better. It's also a more subtle one and a more difficult one,
Yeah.
but we know that the first thing we need to do is better tools. Are there any updates, change planned before the patch in June? There's no major stuff, so the emblems was the last major thing. But what's coming in June is the store, the next chapter, and the tutorials. So that's gonna be quite a lot of stuff. In the meantime, there's gonna be patches, there's gonna be fixes, there's gonna be small tweaks, but nothing major.
They're major to me, because
Yes.
I work on bug fixes.
Yes.
Anyway.
I will let you read this, and I will go blow my nose. I will be
Yeah.
right back because I'm leaking.
But can I answer them? Or can I just read them? Oh my goodness. Hello, Dead by Daylight. McLean here. I'm going to read some questions. Where were we? Alright. Cake Duty asks, hello devs. Hello, Cake Duty. So quite some time ago, you nerfed dailies and the amount of BP you get from them. You said it would stay like this for a while so you get some stats if more people completed their dailies and stuff. My question is, dailies don't feel that rewarding for the hardcore players. So have you been thinking about making a system so people can choose a tier for their daily?
I asked Mr. Spriggans that question.
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
Yeah. They're talking about a tier system, not exactly like this, but yes, so that there would be like easy, medium, and hard rituals. It would be a super interesting system, but it's not planned right now. It's in a discussion state.
Right. I thought that was an interesting question.
Yeah, very much so. Long ago, you discussed things such as nerf to BNP. That's a big one.
Ah, yes.
And a buff to the pig. Nerf and buff, by the way, are always such loaded words.
They are.
Most of the time they're adjustments,
Yeah.
but anyway. And sometimes they're nerfs and sometimes they're buffs. But most of the time they're just adjustments.
It always feels like there's like emotional things, emotional baggage on those words.
Yeah.
Like someone is bad, so they deserve to be nerfed, right?
Yeah,
Like
very much
it's
so.
not like that. We just want to increase fun.
So the pig feels pretty good right now.
Yeah.
It feels okay right now. So we don't have any plans to do any major adjustments to the pig. Brand new part is a really big one.
Yep.
There are a few really big pieces in the game right now that are game changers that we need to be very careful when we touch them. Like any changes to decisive strike or borrowed time or self-care, for instance,
Yep.
would create quite a lot of noise, I believe.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and we are definitely talking about this on a regular basis.
We
But-
went in for borrowed time a while ago.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, well, brand new part also was changed rather drastically,
Yep.
but it's still an extremely potent one.
Yeah. It's it makes one wonder, is that the kind of effect that's, I guess the expression would be, unsafe at any speed? Who
Well,
knows?
the other thing is, if we had, let's say, 25 different ultra rare add-ons,
Yeah.
then it means that it would in fact be much
Ultra-
rarer.
Right. The
Uh,
fact that
which
there's only one thing in the bucket of ultra rare, so anytime you roll ultra rare, you always get the same one. You're like,
That's
oh, yeah.
Which is supposed to be the sort of safeguard
Mm-hmm.
against that. So,
Some things are actually fun when you get them 1 out of every 10 games, and not fun when you get them 10 out of 10 games.
yeah. Can we choose whether we receive survivor or killer dailies? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the idea was always to try to entice you to play different things, but at the same time, one of the key things of the game that has been true forever was we never want to force you to play something you don't want to. We made the killer and the survivor experiences so different they could even be considered two completely different games. So if you feel like playing a certain game, we don't want to force you to play something else.
There is the button to please re-roll my daily, although you can only do that a limited number of
once.
times.
So. Would it be possible to change X third seal in a way where hit survivors enter another world?
Woo!
Similar to the dream world, with fog hindering their sight until the totem's broken. That's a cool idea. It feels like a brand new perk. Even then, it feels more like a new power. It's not out of the question. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the another world thing, now that we've created that, could be revisited in some different form.
Banish them to the Shadow Realm.
Something like that.
License pending.
Yeah. Can you do a personal scoreboard where you can see all the emblems that you got? Would love that. Yeah, so the stats page, I
Stats.
remember, was part of the original backlog before alpha, before launch. It's always been on our wish list, and it's always been less important than something else.
Yeah.
So it's a shame, but that's what happens. There's a chance that it will happen, but it's probably gonna stay on that wish list for a long time. Can you show us stats on escape rate of survivors with DS and without it? We've done that in the past. I will ask Julien to do that again. Most likely, though, next week, Julien will do a nice little analysis of the emblem system. But specifically for these things, we were looking at, for instance, Brand New Park or Decisive Strike or Self-Care or all these things. And the rate, the variation between having a certain perk or having a certain loadout or none at all,
Like, are there any
they're
options?
usually
or-
very minimal.
Yeah.
It's not 2% even. Like it's smidgens, I think is the proper statistical term.
I guess sometimes the smidgen gets lodged under your skin and really irritates you.
Yes. Will killers ever have a boost when playing on their own map? Example, like the Trapper on the McLean estate gives faster trap setting time. A very interesting idea. We've often talked about ways that especially the survivors, but also the killers could have maybe a passive ability or something that would make them more unique. The killers don't need that because they are very unique by their powers, but the survivors could be interesting. In the case of this, it's a little trickier because, for instance, McLean Estate has many maps, and the Asylum only has one,
Right.
so the weight of them is very different, and some killers, like Leatherface, don't have a map associated with them,
Poor Leatherface.
and things like that. So it would be a little difficult to implement. Also, it'd be super random because it's hard to call up your map,
Yeah.
but it's an interesting idea. That's probably not going to happen.
In my dreams, it's like various maps happen to play well with the killer's ability just based on their design, but that's a tricky thing to do all the time.
Yeah. I got a really good lore question,
Ooh.
but I couldn't get a hold of Dave.
Oh no.
So I do not have an answer. So Gunmech04, I heard your question. I will answer it next time. Could we have it so that the Devour Hope does not light up until the third token has been earned? The tooltip can still pop up that it's active. That way there would be a little more surprise to the perk again.
I remember Devour Hope stealth kills. I don't know. That seems like the kind of reasonable adjustment. It's kind of just waiting for the pass of reasonable
Yeah.
adjustments on perks. It's not like the kind of thing we don't like to do. I guess it's just a matter of when is it that we're going to do that.
But we, that's an interesting one. How long before we start to see tweaks to the emblem system? So, as we said, I'd say a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, things like bug fixes or, it's not working as intended, that kind of thing is going to come soon.
Very soon.
Like changes to our intentions is going to take much longer because we really want to get a good idea of what's happening.
Yeah, but we're not gonna leave things hanging for no reason. I mean, if we can fix it quickly, we
Oh,
will.
yeah.
But we want to make sure that there is something to fix.
Yeah.
Any plans to rework Save the Best for Last and play with your food to synergize better with the emblems? So there are a few perks right now that are in need of a tweak to address the fact that the emblem system changes things, and we will. But we want to make sure that the emblem system is stabilized before we'll go and fix those. So in the meantime, some of them will not play as nicely as they should. Will we be able to unlock the next chapter with game time, and does game time work retroactively? Very good questions. The answer to the first part is yes, you will be able to unlock the different elements of the chapter through playtime. And there might be a slight difference in what you get. I have to check with Isabelle on that. It doesn't matter. So yes, you will be able to unlock it, and you. What was the other thing? It won't be retroactive. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that the game time, like if you have 6,000 hours now of Dead by Daylight game time, we won't give you the whatever currency to buy everything tomorrow. It's just not gonna work like that. You confirmed Bunny Fangmin outfit is finished. Is Shirtless David finished as well?
I want to know.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Oh, so it is.
I just didn't want to spill the beans.
Okay, well, beans are spilled.
Shirtless David is spilled.
There you go.
Much will be spilled.
Yes. All right. So I have cool pictures of packs that I want to show right now. That's it for the Q&A for me. Let's look at some of the really cool cosplay that we got at PAX. Make it bigger. Thank you. So that was the booth. We saw the booth. That was good. Okay, so that was on the first day. We got a really interesting take on the Trapper coming to play the game. Funny enough, you can see he was playing as a survivor. That was Matt Walker not working and actually playing the game with some of our friends here.
Is that Jen Denise?
That is Jen Denise. Now, that was the Dead by Daylight party that we threw on the Saturday night.
Those are some sick bandanas, bro.
Yes, they are. I believe they're called snoods. I did not know that was a thing.
Okay.
But they're really, really cool. So this was a resounding success.
Yeah.
It was great to see all of these broadcasters, all these streamers, all the people that have been part of our community for a long time come together and get a chance to, talk and touch. So we will very likely do something like that again. Next here, that's me with Happy Ania. That was on the first day. It was great. Those two were absolutely adorable.
I'm sure they're old enough to play Dead by Daylight.
Most likely.
Yeah.
With parental guidance. Great group of friends. The nurse had to take her bag off to play the game because she couldn't see it. Right. That's a beautiful picture. Thank you, Vorfidis. I will immediately add that to the list of pictures.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Keep going. Oh, okay. So Huntress was a really popular cosplay this year.
I'm glad Huntress caught on as well as she did. I'm proud of Huntress.
She's some of the best stuff we've ever done, I think. And the great thing with that is that I feel every time we've done our own chapter, we've done better than the last time. I mean, they're all good. We did the nurse and Nia,
Yep.
some of the best stuff we've ever done. And then we did a Flesh and Mud, and Ace and the Hag are amazing, and the Swamp. And then we went to do the Doctor, the Spark of Madness, and Fong, and it was the best stuff we've ever done. And then we did the Lullaby, and that was the best stuff we've ever done. So I cannot wait for people to get their hands on the next original chapter.
The next thing.
Yeah,
I
so
know what it is, but I'm
am
not telling.
putting the picture right there in the folder. Thank you, Bjorn. So this was a pleasant leather face with a very short tie and a huntress. Huntress here again, beautifully done with a friendly bill and a dweerder.
I don't remember when that picture was taken of me.
I don't think you were dressed up as Bill that day.
No, that's not. Okay.
Again, another huntress. I do have to salute the dedication of people who come either barefoot or with flip-flops to a convention.
Oh, yeah.
Because that takes a lot of something. The pig. That's a great cosplay.
Cool.
Yeah, it was very nice.
I have that camera.
Okay. You just I was stunned for a second there. A very very cool huntress here. It just never stopped. Huntresses kept passing by the whole day. And another one. Those are our friends from last year. So last year they were at the booth as the Wraith and the Nurse, and this year they came as Myers and the Huntress. Another group of excited fellas. I really like the sort of Bob Ross hairdo that Leatherface is sporting in this. I think it's spot on. All right, Pizza Dwight. They were having a great time. These three were just they were a blast to hang out with. This one had her perks.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And she did not break character for the 3 hours she spent at the booth. It's a little upsetting, I have to say.
You tried to break her, but she would not.
And that is a beautiful picture of an emotional Matt enjoying a shark. I'm not exactly sure what the rest of the story is, but you can ask him and he will gladly tell it.
This man is a legend.
He is. And you know what? Even the great, powerful Matt Lamarche managed to get broken by Pax by the end. By the end of the last day. It did take almost the full 4 days, but he managed to lose his voice after almost 4 days of Pax, which is an undertaking.
I think I was voiceless for a week after I went last year.
Yeah, but so big props to all the people that ran the booth there with us. So Matt, Nikki, Mike, and Keith, thank you very, very much. And obviously Gabrielle and Paul and Olivier and everybody else that helped make this happen. It was a glorious event. So there, I think that's it. No, we do not have an update yet on the licensed characters being earned by playtime, but let me tell you that we will scream it out loud as soon as we know, because that's something that we are exceedingly excited about. That's it right now. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I was here to field Emblem questions.
There we go. I think you did a bang-up job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Is the teaser in the corner of the killer or of something else? That image, which you can make big for a second there. And beginulate. There you go. This is the one image we are showing to talk about the next chapter, which is an original chapter which will come in during the anniversary celebrations. There we go.
I actually saw a good question scroll by once we started wrapping up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll answer it.
Yeah,
though.
go.
Okay, there was a good question about what is an unsafe hook regarding benevolent and trying to save someone off a hook. That's a good question. I'd forgotten about that one. So for anyone concerned about the safety of hooks and getting your benevolent points, the way it works is you unhook somebody, and then benevolent says, "Good job. Here's a bunch of points." But if that person goes down again, within 10 seconds, you lose more points than you gained. That's how it works. So someone asked, how does that work with borrowed time? They have to actually go down. So if you use borrowed time, you unhook somebody, they get hit, but they don't go down, 10 seconds
They're
passes,
safe.
it's good. It was a safe unhook.
Cool.
But if you unhook somebody and they go down, the old farming the
lose
hook,
points.
you lose points. You get punished. Don't do that. Don't do that to your friends.
There you go. Or your enemies.
Or your
even.
enemies. Well, sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess your enemies, that's sort of okay. Alright.
Okay, so there you go.
All right. Well, that's it, really.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for bearing with us in the great plague of 2018. And thanks for joining us. Bjorn, thank you again for a bang-up job. Thank you to our mods for staying with us and, helping me manage this. It was difficult today. And thank you very much for everybody to join us. We will be back next week. So, bye.